you are doing great. My name is Nuhaila Serati. Welcome in today's class, and today we will be covering Unit 7 for first year baccalaureate, which is celebrations. Okay, so first we will start with functions. Now let's imagine your mom asks you to do something, but you refused. And we know that we have to obey our parents. So you did a mistake. You need to apologize. You need to say, I'm sorry. So today's lesson is about I'm sorry, how to express apologizing and how to accept apology. Let's read the following dialogue and answer the question, why did Hannah apologize to Lorraine? So let's read. Hannah, Lorraine, can I talk to you for a moment? About what? I know you're still mad at me since that argument we had the other day. You're right, I am. You were so rude to me. I know, I was really angry, and I want to apologize for how I spoke to you. I don't mind if someone disagrees with me, but you shouldn't have turned it into a personal attack. You're right, I apologize. I was having a really bad day, and I guess I took it on you. I took it out on you. Please forgive me. I understand, don't worry about it. Let me know if I can make it up to you somehow. That's all right. The main thing is that you apologized. I'm sorry if I've been mean to you since it happened. That's all right. I'm just glad we can be friends again. Me too. So let's try to answer the following question. Why did Hannah apologize to Lorraine? Can you guess the answer? I have already the answer for you. So she apologized because she spoke rude to her. So what did she say to apologize? She said, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Did Lorraine accept Hannah's apology? Yes, she did. She said, don't worry about it. Okay, so when you make a mistake to someone, you have to apology. You have to say, I'm sorry. Are there other expressions to express apology? Yes, they are. Let's have a look. So other ways that we can use to express an apology, we can say, I do apologize. We can say, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. Or we can say also, I'm terribly sorry. We can say, it's all my fault. Sorry about that. My apologies. I can't tell you how sorry I am. Or I'm terribly or awfully or I'm so sorry. Now, let's move into expressions we use to accept an apology, like Hannah. Never mind, it's okay. Don't worry about it. No problem. It's all right. It doesn't matter. Or forget about it. Okay, now we have situations. How would you apologize in the following situations? For example, you accidentally stepped on your colleague's mobile phone and damaged it. How would you apologize? Okay, try to use one of these expressions to apologize. We can say, please forgive me. I didn't mean it. Or we can also say, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't mean that. Or any other expressions that we have seen before. The other situation, you came late to an important meeting. So you have an important meeting and you came late. So you have to apologize. We can say, I'm sorry for being late. I didn't wake up early. We can say, I'm sorry or I'm so sorry or any other expressions from the chart. Now we move on to our grammar lesson, which is about relative pronouns. First of all, let's read the following sentences. Sentence number 1. My sister was born overseas. She likes traveling. Here in this sentence, we have two clauses. Clause number 1, my sister was born overseas. And clause number 2, she likes traveling. Now, we want to join between these two clauses. How can we join between the two? The second example, the window is open. It is on the right. So here also we have two clauses. Clause number 1, the window is open. And clause number 2, it is on the right. So here the question or the task is, how can we join between these two clauses? Let's have a look. So we have my sister who was born overseas, likes traveling. So how did we connect between the two sentences or the two clauses, using who. What is who? And for the second sentence, the window, which is on the right, is open. We use which. So what is who and which? We call them relative pronouns. Remember, relative pronouns. Okay, so relative pronouns, do you remember we have two clauses? So clause number 1, we call it relative clauses. So was born overseas is a relative clause. Is on the right, it's a relative clause. And what about my sister likes traveling? It is a main clause. We call it main clause. Is open is a main clause. So we joined between a relative clause and the main clause using what? A relative pronouns. Let's see the other examples. This is George, whom you met at our house last year. So here we joined between the two clauses using whom. The other example, this is the house that Jack built. Here we joined them using that. The other example, the book which I bought is very interesting. Okay, we joined between the book is very interesting and the book that I bought using a relative pronoun which. Denzel Washington is the actor who I like most. Okay, here we use who. And Antonio is the boy whose father is a teacher. And in this example, we used whose. Okay. So, here we have, choose the right option. So, we use a relative clause to what? What is the role of a relative clause? Is it to express regret, to give information about a person or a thing, or to report a speech? Look here, Antonio, who is Antonio? Is the boy whose father is a teacher. So here I am giving an information about Antonio. Look here, the book which I bought is very interesting. The book, which book? The book which I bought is very interesting. So, this is George. Who is George? Whom you met at our house last year. So here we use relative clause, of course, to give information about a person, for example, Denzel Washington or George, or about a thing, for example, the book. Okay, so here we use, what is the difference between who and which? Let's read these examples. My sister, who was born overseas, likes to travel. Here we use who. Number 2, Denzel Washington is the actor who I like most. Here also we use who. Sentence number 3, the book which John bought is very interesting. Here we use which. And for sentence number 4, the window which is on the right is open. Here we use which. What's the difference? Of course, you may notice the difference that who refer to my sister, which is a person, and which refer to the book or the window, which is a thing. Okay? So we use who when we are talking about a person. Okay? For example, Washington, my sister, George, etc. when we are talking about a person. And we use which when we are talking about a thing. TV, table, book, etc. Okay? So here, the relative pronoun who. So it refers to my sister, which is a person. My sister, a person. Which, we use it for object. Window, TV, etc. Whom, also, we use it for person. Okay? That, we use it also for object. Which, for object. Who, also, we use it for person. And whose, we use it for possession. And it refers also to a person. Okay, let's do the following exercise. We have to complete with who or which. Okay, number 1, I respect people are good listeners. People. So here, what are we going to use? Of course, we are going to use who, because people, person. Example number 2, this is the camera I bought last week. This is the camera. Are we going to use who or which? Of course, we are going to use which because camera is a thing. It's not a person. Okay? Number 3, we help people who can't look after themselves. Of course, here we are going to use who because people. People's like the first example. Number 4, students have passed their exams, don't need to come to the revision class. So here, are we going to use who or which? Of course, we are going to use who because students, it's a person, people, okay? Number 5, a lawyer is a person provides legal advice to people. Of course, it's obvious we are going to use who because we have a liar. A liar is a person, okay? And of course, there are other relative pronouns, where, when, and why that I haven't mentioned before. We use where when we are talking about place. For example, Casablanca is the city where I was born. Where I was born. Casablanca is a place. When, we use it to talk about time, and why, we use it to talk about reason. Let's do the other exercise. Fill in the gaps with the right relative pronoun, who, whom, which, or whose. So, number 1, I'm looking for someone can lend me a computer. So here, what are we going to use? Of course, we are going to use who, because someone, I'm looking for a person who can lend me a computer. Example number 2, the police needed details, could help identify the robber. So details, what are we going to use? Of course, here we are going to use which, because details is a thing, something, okay? Number 3, the man, whose name I can't remember, is a talented comedian. We are going to use whose, because here we are talking about a man, a person. I'd like to take you to a coffee service, excellent coffee. Okay, a coffee, it's not a person, of course. Okay, so which, we use which. Number 5, my uncle has a factory, employs a large number of people. So factory is just like cafe, okay? So which. Gad al-Maleh, sense of humor is great, is a famous Moroccan comedian, lives in France. Gad al-Maleh, of course, he is a person, so we are going to use who or whose. In this case, we are going to use whose and then who. Gad al-Maleh, whose sense of humor is great, is a famous Moroccan comedian who lives in France. Here we have another sentence, but here we have to join the following clauses using a relative pronouns, okay? So we have the police caught the man stole the car, okay? The police caught the man who stole the car. I'm reading a book. The book is about a human body, okay? So a book is a thing, so I'm going to join between the two clauses using, of course, which. I'm reading a book which is about a human body. Do you remember the name of the man? His car was stolen. So here I am going to join between the man. Do you remember the man? Or the name of the man? His car was stolen. So here I'm talking about a man, the man, so he is the person. So I'm going to use whose or who. In this case, we are going to use whose. Do you remember the name of the man whose car was stolen? Do you remember the name of the man? The man is teacher. So here, of course, I'm going to use who. Do you remember the name of the man who is a teacher? Okay, so this is for you as a homework. Complete these examples about you. I am the person who, for example, I am the person who likes traveling. I am the person who enjoys staying up late, etc. I like everything which, for example, everything which has happy ending, for example, or for example, here number 3, USA is like where I want to live, okay? Maldives, where I want to live, okay? So you choose or you give us your own examples. Now we are going to move to reading, okay? So, and our reading, if you remember, our unit is about celebrations, okay? What do we celebrate, for example? We celebrate New Year. We celebrate also Mother's Day. We celebrate Women's Day. We celebrate Throne Day. We can celebrate the Green March. We celebrate Eid al-Adha. We celebrate Ramadan. Or we celebrate, or some people celebrate Halloween. So now what are we going to do? We are going to categorize these celebrations into religious celebrations, national celebrations, international celebrations, and foreign celebrations. Let's start with religious celebrations. Religious celebrations are celebrations that all Muslim countries or all Muslim people celebrate. For example, Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha is celebrated in all Muslim countries. Ramadan also, or the birth of the Prophet also, or Ashura. So these celebrations are celebrated in all Muslim countries. International celebrations are celebrations that the whole world celebrate them, okay? We have, for example, Women's Day is an international day. All the world celebrate it, okay? The New Year, of course, or the Mother's Day. And the national celebrations, for example, the Green March or the Throne Day. This is our national celebrations. We as Moroccans, we celebrate them. And we have foreign celebrations, for example, Halloween. And Thanksgiving. For example, Canada and USA, they celebrate Thanksgiving. Okay, now for further vocabulary, we have a case study, which is Eid al-Adha. What do we do in Eid al-Adha? Okay, of course, first of all, we wear special clothes, new clothes, and we go to the prayer square, okay, l'msalla. And then men slaughter the ram or the sheep, and then grill and eat meat or liver, okay? There are like special food in Eid al-Adha. Then we visit our families and cook couscous at night, okay? So these are some activities that we do during the Eid Day, Eid al-Adha. Okay, so our text is about Mother's Day. We are going to see how Bob and Rama celebrate Mother's Day. Let's start with Bob. Mother's Day is enthusiastically celebrated all over the world. Mothers are the same and so are their feelings towards them. We have to celebrate it. Celebrating Mother's Day is to pay special tribute to mothers for all their love and support and to make them feel they are dear to all of us. We show love to them as we always do. Bob, 17 years old. The most common way of celebrating Mother's Day is to serve our mother breakfast in bed. We allow her to sleep that late while we juggle in the kitchen to prepare her favorite breakfast. Many children draw cards themselves the day before Mother's Day. Some also make handmade gifts to show their respect and affection for their mothers. Grown-up children prefer to buy gifts. This is Rama, 19 years old. So here we have two paragraphs. They are talking about Mother's Day, how they are celebrated in different way, okay? So let's complete the following chart. We have Bob. What's the purpose of celebrating Mother's Day according to Bob? Let's go back to the text. Okay. So why? Celebrating Mother's Day is to pay special tribute to mothers for all their love and support and to make them feel they are dear to all of us, of course. Okay. So to pay special tribute to mothers for their love and support and to make them feel they are dear to all of us. Okay, how do they celebrate it? By showing them love. Okay, and of course there are several ways to show love to your mothers, to, for example, to do the dishes, to bring them gifts, or so on and so forth. What about Rama? So what is the purpose? Is to serve our mother breakfast in bed, to show respect and affection for mothers. Okay. So how do they celebrate the Mother's Day? By preparing her favorite breakfast while she is in bed. Some make handmade gifts grown-up children prefer to buy gifts, of course. Now tell us, how you celebrate Mother's Day. Either you prepare her breakfast like Rama, or you bought her a gift or something like that. Let's answer the following questions, true or false questions. Mother's Day is only celebrated in Morocco. Is that true or false? Of course, this is false. We have said before that Mother's Day is an international celebration, so the whole world celebrates it. So it is celebrated all over the world. It is celebrated on different days. Is that true or false? Yes, true. It is celebrated in entirely different days of the year. Okay, now we move on to writing, and today we are going to learn how to write a personal letter. Okay, a personal letter. Let's read the following letter, but before reading it, let's have a look at the elements of the letter. So here, first of all, we have Dear Kamal, hello. This is, we call it greetings, greetings. Hello, hi, it depends on the degree of formality. If you are sending this letter, for example, to your close friend or to your brother, your sister. So it depends on the degree of formality. Then we have the date. Look, December 20th, okay? And then we have the sender address. This is the body, okay? And then we have the sign-off, the conclusion. You can say your best friend, with love, okay, take care, etc. Then again, this depends on the degree of formality to whom you are sending this letter. Let's read the letter. Okay, dear Kamal, hello. Thank you very much for your letter. I was very happy to learn about some of Morocco's eating habits. And I'm very glad to tell you about one of our strange celebrations, Halloween. Well, each year, on the last night of October, millions of children across the USA dress up in strange costumes and take to the streets for pleasure and fun. The celebration continues on the following day, November 1st. This day marks the end of autumn and the beginning of the dark, cold winter. During the celebration, we wear costumes typically consisting of animal heads and skins and attempt to tell each other's fortunes. When the celebration is over, we set fire to protect ourselves from the coming winter. Well, as you see, this is a superstitious. Are there any celebrations like that in your country? Tell me about one of them. Please give me or give my best wishes to your family, your best friend Laura. Okay, so here Laura is writing a letter to whom? To Kamal, of course. Why? Okay, she is telling him about one of the weird celebrations in the USA, which is Halloween, okay? She is telling him when do they celebrate it and why do they celebrate it, and also what are the traditions, what are the activities that they do during the Halloween. Now you are asked to write a letter answering Laura's question. What was Laura's question? If we have any celebrations like that in our country, okay? So you write about a celebration answering Laura's question. So first of all, of course, we say greetings, hi, the address name. I'm writing this letter to, for example, I'm writing this letter to tell you about one of our Moroccan celebrations, for example, Eid al-Adha. You can tell her about Eid al-Adha, you can tell her about Laylat al-Qadr, or etc. Okay? So then write me soon, cheers, okay, and the sender name. So this is like the form of a letter, how to write a letter. And that's it for today's class. Thank you very much for your attention, and don't forget, stay at home and stay safe.